Welcome to this afternoon seminar on demonetization. My name is Jaspal. I was trained as a philosopher, but became a banker out of necessity. So demonetization is actually a dream come true for bankers. When I remember when I worked in the banks, it was like the greatest dream every banker has, that if all the cash in the country comes to the bank. So if you're a banker or a bank, it's the greatest thing that has ever happened to you. But if you're a common citizen, and especially sort of a lower middle class and then poor person, then demonetization has entirely a different avatar. So today we have 4 very serious presentations on demonetization, and I will call Arif Hussain, who is director of Coalition for Democratic India. So he will tell you more about the program. Arif.
Can you turn the light off, sir? Thank you, Jaspal. So this is our kind of first event, Coalition for a Democratic India, and I'll tell you about that why we have decided to form a new organization when there are so many more organizations around working on different things. So the background of CDI is that we started talking about last year around summer that there is so much going on in the world. Like we have seen Brexit, we have seen Modi in India, we have seen Trump here. I mean, at that time Trump was not here, but the momentum was building, and it was kind of a lot of disturbance kind of happening. And at the same time, we also felt that there is a lot of new energy which is coming in. People, younger people who have never been involved in a political social movement, they are coming in. We saw, like in India, we saw Aam Party. A lot of young people came and worked for that. I mean, what happened to that, that's a different story. Same here, what we're seeing in US, that the Bernie Sanders campaign, which actually really took off in a way which nobody had anticipated because of the young energy and people who wanted to get involved. But we saw that what happened to all those campaigns, same to the Bernie Sanders campaign as well as to Aam Party, that because the direction, it was about direction, it was ideology, it was about broader thinking, they could not go far. So in this background, we have been thinking about that why it is happening. And there are a lot of practices globally, there are a lot of theory globally in India, in US, people have been working on so many movements, in other countries working in movement. But there was a need to bring it all together to kind of work as a cohesive mass. At the same time, the population here, especially people who have a background in India, like of Indian origin, the diaspora, or people who have interest in the area, have a lot of experience building, like go back to like the Gadar Party time, that people here started Gadar Party and recruited and mobilized and did a lot of things. But it's just not Gadar Party, not so far back, but even like during emergency in India, which was 1975 to 77, a lot of people here mobilized. They mobilized personally, they mobilized resources and supported movements in India. So it is not really that once you are here, you are cut off from what's going on in the subcontinent. What happens there affects you, what happens here affects people there. So this is the kind of background which we decided to form an organization, and late last year, we had like consultation, we formed an advisory board, and we decided to legally register this organization. So Coalition for Democratic India is now a registered 501c3 organization, and we picked this topic, demonetization, which is kind of being put in operation in India, but it's also a very global theme. As Jaspal was saying that, okay, there's a hardship for people, currency is being taken back, but at the same time, turning money into data, turning money into number, digitizing money has its own implications. Who controls that? Where it goes? What's the privacy around that? Those are big issues, so that's why we are focusing on this. Also, we have this sense that there is a kind of this time of great change, that the old is not working anymore. but the new has not really taken shape. And we, in our own capacities, in whatever capacity we have, we will try to contribute to that process of forming and giving shape to the new which is yet to come. That is the overall objective. So right now, as we envisage it, we are placing ourselves as a center of praxis, which is not just theory but also action or practice. So we will work also as a theoretical group, because despite so many, like thousands and thousands of academic institutions, experts here, back in India, in Europe, elsewhere, we still feel there is a very big need for people who are working, people who think, to come together and think about an alternative. Because whatever alternative is being presented, we have seen, like, people have made promises, like in this country when Obama came, people were really, really hopeful that something great is going to happen, the history will change. But what happened after that, or what happened during that, we have seen. Same in India, same in many other countries, like what's happening in Europe right now, we all see. So there is this new thing which has to emerge, and we want to be one of the participants in that process. We have chosen to support people's struggles in India. We are not supporting, say, any political party or any particular individual, but we are very cause-based, rights-based support to any movement. Because as we have seen that you can start political movements, but unless you have a social movement, a strong social movement to undergird that political movement, it does not go very far. So the core is the social movement, and that's why we have support them. Social movements, environmental movements, that's a problem here, that's a problem back in India. And of course, economic movements around which the issues of livelihoods are structured. I mean, in India, we see the large-scale projects, the livelihoods of fishermen, small farmers, other workers, laborers are threatened, but the overall structure is so oppressive that the struggles are not going very far. So that's where we decided to support through engaging grassroots organization. Long-term movement support is very important, because the project-based support for specific outcomes really is not in a position to shape the dialogue or shape the narrative. So whatever resources we will manage to gather, we will be supporting long-term movements. As I said earlier, we are a 501c3 organization, so legally, administratively, we are taken care of. What's next for CDI is we are holding consultation, like today, after the seminar, I mean after the presentations, you can ask questions about presentation, but we also solicit suggestions from you that where do you see such an organization going, and what should we be doing further? Because we have a small group of people, like 35 people, and we definitely don't claim to know everything or understand everything, and we need the support of the whole community. So today we are kick-starting that process through your engagement and support. And also, of course, about organizations in India or people working on specific issues which you find very important to you, you're passionate about, you can tell us about it, and we can engage with them. These are the ways you can stay in touch with us. Of course, we can talk to me, Jaspal here, Rajesh, other people here you can talk to who are directly involved with the organization right now. Hadeeb, you can talk to us here, but also we have a website. It's very basic right now. We're adding more content, but it has our contact information and stuff. You can connect with us through email, Facebook, Twitter. That's our donate link. You can also make donations out here. And we are starting a monthly newsletter, and you can go to the website and sign up for the monthly newsletter. Why demonetization as our kickoff event? First off, it has been a hugely disruptive event in India. No matter what the government says, no matter what the data is, we have people who were in India during that time, and we'll talk more about it. It was hugely disruptive, and it was proportionate to the economic power disproportionate to the economic power you already have. So the poorer you are, the harder you will hit. But at the same time, it's also what Jaspal was referring to. It's a broader issue. It's a broader push towards financialization, digitalization of economy. But at the same time, what people are facing is just one part of it. There is far more to it. What people face, we have people talking to about it. Then what all was promised, like promise was eradication of counterfeit currency, to terrorism, to black money, like a lot of things were said, and we will see how much of those promises were made. What happens when you turn money into data? That is another aspect we'll explore. Data, once you turn into data, it's much easier to kind of surveil somebody, to kind of go after somebody, and that's not happening. It's happening through Facebook, it's happening through Google, it's all through all the online accounts, but now it's going to happen through money, your transactions. And what does it mean for democracy? Like as citizens, how much say we have, or how it's gonna affect us? That's another thing, and what we can do about it. So that's the brief from my side. Now I'll invite Sarah to take it from here, and she will go through how she's gonna facilitate the seminar. Thank you.
If you didn't get a program, the information that RF was just referencing is on here. So I noticed there was